but a few I could count on one hand.
Yeah.
And now at other schools it'll be larger numbers than that. I get it, but I mean, so first of all, let's understand single-handedly destroying a foreign intelligence operation against the United States, because he revealed where everybody was and who everybody was and who all the spies were.
Wow.
And then after those 3 years, he took those notes that he had compiled, and that turned into the book Red Horizons. And the little secret, it's public, so it's not often stated, but he ended up marrying a CIA agent, and so who helped with his defection. So
that's such a cute story, though.
That is, and I got to talk to her, and she told me she felt sorry for him because he's in this safe house, and guys would come over from like 9 to 5, play tennis with him, stuff like that, and then he was very lonely in the evenings. And she said, and I watched him, and I realized he was lonely, and started talking, found out they both liked art and music, so they went out to a museum, and they went to so I'm talking to her after he died, so she's like 90s. This was a few years ago, and having this 90-year-old woman tell the story of falling in love with her late husband was just very, very touching.
Would you be okay if we went into a little more detail about how, like, the recruitment of Arafat? What was the goal with that? Just a little bit more history on that, if you have any.
Well, it's not. I don't have a lot of specific history to him.
Why recruit an Egyptian to be a leader for these people who aren't really a people, but a new national identity that the KGB wants to kind of be a part of developing? Maybe that is more of a place we can go.
Well, yeah, I don't think that they necessarily said we need to get an Egyptian. They wanted someone who they thought would be a charismatic leader for this group, and Arafat happened to fit the mold, and again, I don't know all the details. Knowing how things operated, there were probably several potential leaders that they were working with, and he evolved to be the one. So they got him and created this legend of him as a freedom fighter. They trained him. They put him in place with a completely false background. I mean, he had been born, in fact, in Egypt, but they got their leader in place is what they got. They needed someone to fill that role, probably work with several people to find the one who they felt worked best. And he was very successful for them.
Yeah, they were able to install who they wanted in order to cause that rift. And really, it was the opposition to Zionism.
Right.
And the book talks a lot about how the Protocols of Zion propaganda book, that was a plagiarized, kind of made up thing based on some other book about Napoleon and Machiavellian kind of ideology, I think, if I remember correctly. So it was this opposition to Zionism. Why are people so afraid of the self-determination of the Jewish people in their ancestral homeland? What is it, or at least in this realm? What is it that the KGB was
in this realm? I mean, the Protocols of the Elders of Zion was important to Pacheco because he told me in the months before his defection, he was sending out thousands of copies of it every month. They were putting forth this false narrative, actually thought of as a French document, but Pacheco went back and it's actually Russian in origin. And it's the notes of a horrible meeting where the leaders of the Jewish world are talking about drinking the blood of children and all kinds of stuff. I've never actually read it, so I say that. That's what I've read.
It's all just lies like that. It's all just blood libel, yes.
Stuff like that. But it's so much so that I was writing a review of an article, a review of a book for a journal at Purdue University, and I forget the name of the journal, but it was this guy who was talking about studying anti-Semitism across the Middle East, and he said he would go into houses and say, "Have you ever heard of this Protocols of the Elders of Zion?" He said, in house after house after house, people say, "Well, yes, I have a copy of it right here," and they turn around and they pull it off the shelf because the Kremlin, the Soviets, the the intelligence people that Pacheco worked with were just sending these copies out, developing this culture, cultivating and stirring up the pot, fomenting the anti-Semitism. I mean, you can't deny there was some anti-Semitism already existed, but
Yeah.
really trying to create it into a situation of violence. And they did that. And then, once it's out there, it can also go out of control. That's the other side of the coin here.
That's a great
Once
point.
once you create the terrorists, you don't control the terrorists anymore. And that's why Russia became the victim of some terror attacks, because they couldn't keep control of it forever.
That's such a great point that I don't think we point out enough, that all of the little seeds that have been planted, some of them were for a particular goal in mind that the KGB or, others now that do it had or have. And sometimes you can't control where it goes and what it turns into. And it can blossom into something that is, it literally celebrates the unaliving of people. Sorry, I have to use that word for TikTok. I can't say MURDER. What do you want to tell people who haven't read the book, why they should?
It's available on Amazon. That's what I want to tell them.
Yeah, no, I tell them all the time. It's on Amazon. It's on Audible. You can get it. Yeah. But what is it what do you want to tell people? Why is this book a necessary book to be read?
Well, I mean, I do think that it's an important book. It's more important than I realized that it was as I was working on it. So Pacheco and I, got together, first made contact in 2009, and carried on a long email exchange for a long time. It was interesting because he told me at one point, he said that it was his only chance to speak as Pacheco. Mm-hmm. I only knew him for a long time. I only knew him as Pacheco. Again, I called him Mike, but I didn't know his secret identity. I used to joke, I know Superman, but I don't know Clark Kent.
Right.
But he gave him the chance to speak as Superman, as Pacheco. So I was communicating with Pacheco, and he was teaching me, and we're having these email exchanges, and a lot of it was built upon my work on Pope Pius XII. Mm-hmm. But then we morphed into a lot of other things. And at that time, the word disinformation, which everybody's familiar with today, really was not in use.
True.
And when you typed it, in Word, when you typed it on your word processing program, it would autocorrect to misinformation because that word was known, but disinformation was not used. It was if you heard the word disinformation, here I would email one another and say, hey, they said this on the news last night. Somebody used the word disinformation. It was that unusual. It was one of the first books, and people don't remember this, but when this came out, Putin was considered a good guy. He was a Christian. He was a good guy. It was one of the first books highly critical of him, pointing out that he was an intelligence officer who had built the first ever government of intelligence officers. That's essentially what he had done, and pointing out how dangerous it was for the world, what was going on.
Yeah.
And then to reveal the techniques that went into all of these matters, that Pacheco had that information that no one else in the West really had. Certainly, he was teaching me most of the secret stuff, the important stuff, he brought to the table. But it's one, I know folks who work in intelligence today, and, they call it a necessary book to read.
I agree.
It's on some like CIA bookshelves and stuff like that with the recommended books. It's written by two, very pro-American, pro-West
audience.
Yeah, authors, and we're I think your fans, your listeners would appreciate it.
I agree with that. Are there any things that he told you about his own, like you said, like the little playbook of his that he did where he created some of the things? Were there any that kind of blew your mind, or like were like, oh my gosh, what? Or surprising, or?
Um, Not exactly so much that he did. He had he had early in his career, he was involved. He was a very big fan of American cars. He wrote some articles for like American car journals under names that you wouldn't recognize. But he was a big fan of his father had worked in the car industry in Romania
That's
and
so
had
cute.
stolen plans from Detroit, and so he grew up sort of in that. And I thought that was always interesting and funny. When he showed me where the KGB took credit for various terrorist attacks, I was really astonished. I thought they would still be hiding that stuff, but no, they actually brag about it because they were very proud of how successful various things were. And I mean, Arafat is one of their great successes they brag about. Um,
Wow.
the if people want if people have HBO Max, there's a show called Spy Master,
Mm-hmm.
which pretty much blatantly ripped off his story without informing us or telling us or anything. But very much tells his story. It has him carrying out an assassination when in reality he did not carry out the assassination. But he left. I mean, the interesting thing for me is, I mean, he left a daughter behind, and he tells that story in the book.
Yeah.
Deciding to leave Dana behind because to stay would have meant to become an assassin.
Right.
And he wrote his daughter a letter and said, "I think you'd rather have me somewhere else, not have your father with you, than have your father be an assassin." And
Yeah.
so
So he saved her life in a way, to,
he tried to, and his defection is very dramatic. I mean, it's in the book where he makes his way to the American embassy and he waits in line. He has to wait in line, and he gets all the way up to the front, and the Marine up there, he says, I'm Pacheco, I'm this and that. And he went up there first. The Marine said, "Get me in the line," and then he has to wait all the way to the line. And then he didn't get in the first day; he had to come back the second day. And the whole time he's looking over his shoulder, waiting to, worried that he's going to be seen. So there's some exciting stories like that too.
I mean, it takes boldness and a lot of courage to do something like that, and then to speak about it, right? To find someone like yourself to speak about it and to out how these manuals and playbooks and ideas that were created for a very distinct purpose, to demoralize, as you said, and destabilize, and to kind of wedge America's power against, where they wanted power or footprints, like in the MENA region. It takes a lot of guts to come out and say that. And I've been encouraging people to read the book. And so when I heard you on X, I was like, oh my gosh, I need him to come. And truly, we could do probably 10 interviews like this where we focus on each of the nuggets of each chapter, because there's so much information. But I hope people, oh, can I show the book? Yes, the book, you guys, on my background, if I make myself smaller, that's the book. By the way, I've been showing your book the entire time where my screen is. Yep, there's the book. There you go, right in front of your face. If you just put it a little bit closer to your face, it will show. Yeah, so, yeah, just a little closer. Yep, no, there we go. That's the book. It's the same that's been on my background. And the book's title is Disinformation. Yeah. I have people in the chat saying I'm buying it. So that's what we want. That's what we want.
Appreciate it.
Do you want to take any questions from a few of the people that I trust, or do you want to close it out here with any of your final thoughts? What would you like
I'll
to
take
do?
questions from anybody, even if you don't trust them. Go
Okay.
on. I mean, what do I got to lose?
Great. So we're at a point where, one of my last things would have been to ask him any final thoughts, but why don't you guys come and ask if there's any questions? Okay, people are immediately asking. So let's bring them up. Let me start with Coach. You there, Coach?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So he can't see you. If you need to repeat it, I will let you know. Yeah, but go ahead and ask your question.
So I got to listen to the book. I didn't read it. I'm more of a book listener. But if there is one thing, I mean, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but if there's one thing you would want people to know who are coming into this conflict, about Arafat, about the KGB's role in this and its purpose for destabilizing or demoralizing the West, what would be the one thing you would want people to know about, like maybe why they did it, etc.?
Good question. Let's see.
That's a very good question, and for one thing, I mean, the one thing is embedded in your question. I mean, the one thing is that this was a Soviet operation. This is not an organic rising up of
Yes.
Palestinian people who
Listen.
sent what happened to them in 1948 or whatever. This was cultivated, created, and developed.
Thank you, Coach.
If I could ask a follow-up,
I was just gonna say, do you have a follow-up to that? Go ahead.
I don't know how much, because it was a very short part of the book. Again, I listened to it, so I don't know how many chapters per se it went through. But as far as the why, like why did they? Because at the time, the Israel was sort of in this weird place where it could have gone communist, it could have gone, democratic, but it was still shaping its identity really, and Israel was not yet, supported by a lot of the Western countries. Why choose this, this country, this thing to reach whatever that end goal is,
Oh, yeah.
demoralize the West?
I understand your question, and I got you. If he doesn't, I know how to re-ask it if it needs to be shorter.
Well, I understand the question. If you've got a great answer,
I have an answer but we talk about it all the time. I think they want to hear from you.
Okay, I mean, my answer, and I'm not sure it's the best or greatest answer. My answer tends to be that it was a dual attack against the United States and Israel, sort of two in one. We had a target. Remember, for disinformation, there's got to be a nugget of truth. You've got to be able to build it around something that people can believe in. And that is kind of in a macro way there with the situation in the Middle East there. So to bring that in, they were able to create a believable story, manufacturing a leader, Arafat, who really wasn't from there. And they did pretty well in hiding their fingerprints in the matter. So I think part of it was a story they thought they could sell that would harm not only Israel, but the United States and more broadly the West, I suppose.
Yeah, there's one of the interesting dynamics. Coach, I'm going to drop you so I can bring somebody else up. Yep. But I do want to answer this question just a little bit. There's a lot of there was a lot going on that Russia wanted a footprint in the MENA. So they either wanted a port, they wanted to be able to have some sort of, power. And I do believe that Israel, being a democracy, choosing that, eventually, right, to be a democracy, to be allied with the US, which came in that late 70s period. I think Russia already had, kind of saw the writing on the wall when Israel was born. And so it was an opportunity to create a wedge and potentially keep Israel away from creating allyship with the US. And I say that because we know that the Soviets were in the Egyptians' ears already, doing whisper campaigns and propaganda campaigns for this, even the 67 war. They're literally the reason why, kind of popped off because they were whispering to Nasser. And Nasser was already so anti-Semitic and already maintained, like the books that you were talking about, like the protocol book being in every house. They had that book. They had Schmittler's book in their home. Like this was something that, they prided themselves on, the destruction of Israel and the Jewish people. So I think there was an allyship, in that with people like Nasser and the Soviets and others in the region, like Haj Amin al-Husseini, and like everyone that came after him, Rashid Khalidi's uncle, who was part of the Arab the Arab Supreme Council or Muslim Council at the time. So I think they were all kind of looking for, well, Russia was looking for power in the MENA, and they wanted to be first versus the U.S. finding an ally with that power somewhere. But it ended up biting them in the ass, because while the region is still very highly anti-Semitic for a myriad of reasons beyond just KGB propaganda or the installation of Arafat and other leaders, Israel has become a global powerhouse. So, they chose the wrong horse to get behind, is my take. All right, we have someone else here. Living Waters, gonna bring you up, and go ahead and ask Ron your question.
Hey, thanks for having me up here. Okay, so this hits really close to home. I'm born in Romania. My parents fought in the Romanian Revolution that brought down communism from a really small town called Kujir, where the weapons were made. So it was a secret town there. So my question is twofold. What motivated him and gave him the courage to defect? And did he, in the background, have any hands in orchestrating the Romanian Revolution at all?
Thank you, Living Waters.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to talk about that. The motivation for him, there are a few motivations. First of all, he was a secret Christian, a secret Catholic, in which he wasn't allowed to be as a communist leader, obviously. So there was that. There was an infatuation he had about the United States since he was a young boy, when his dad worked with Detroit cars. He became very disillusioned with the leadership of really Ceausescu primarily, but leadership in general across communist nations. He talked about watching Ceausescu at the Rose Garden with Jimmy Carter, and Jimmy Carter is lavishing praise on Ceausescu as this noble new face of communism, communists we can do business with, someone we can trade with. And Pachepa there's two things going on. Number one, I did a really good job because I persuaded the president of the United States that this empty suit, I was referred to Ceausescu as an empty suit.
Yeah.
This empty suit is really something when he's done. On the other hand, there's sort of like, oh my goodness, what have I done here? The president of the United States thinks that he's this is very disconcerting. People should be able to see through this kind of stuff. So he was not happy with where he was. He realized he had a hand in fomenting anti-Semitism, in discrediting a pope, in directing American attention towards the CIA when they were looking for an assassination of John F. Kennedy. He had a role in spreading a lot of disinformation that he wanted to kind of try and correct. Mm-hmm. So all those things played into it. And then he got the order to assassinate the head of Radio Free Europe. And he said he had made a vow that whenever, if he would never take part in assassination, and if it ever came to that, he would leave. And so that was the impetus causing him to leave. Now, his role with the downfall of Ceausescu was this. After 3 years of debriefing, he wanted to publish the book, which became Red Horizons. Jimmy Carter would not allow him to publish it. However, when Reagan came into office, Reagan gave him the go-ahead to publish it. Reagan came to call that book his Bible for dealing with dictators. The book was translated in 28 different languages. It was secretly published in Romania, smuggled around. It was read on Radio Free Europe, I mentioned earlier. When Pacheco would refer to the trial that the Ceausescu's got, it was sort of a one-day thing, and the day after Christmas, they were deposed and executed. But there was something of a hearing that took place. Mm-hmm. The prosecutor from the hearing later said that the allegations came virtually word for word from Pacheco's book, Red Horizons. And it was, I think, a significant driver of the unrest that developed in Romania, because it did get passed around. And I heard stories. I talked to a more recent head of Radio Free Europe who was in Romania at the time. And he told me, Pacheco was not on the line. I'm just talking to this guy by myself. He said he was at an event one time. Ceausescu's out on a balcony, kind of like, you guys picture Mussolini standing on a balcony in front of a crowd. And he starts leading the chant of Ceausescu. And then the workers who were out there held up their banners or whatever, shielded their faces so they could not be identified, and began shouting, Pacheco freedom, Pacheco freedom, Pacheco freedom. So the people had gotten the story from the book Red Horizons and having it read over Radio Free Europe. And that very much drove the ultimate downfall of the Ceausescus.
Thank you for answering that. Is there anyone else that would like to come up and ask a question, maybe one or two, and then we can just wrap up? Would that be okay with you? Or one? Or
Sure.
do you want to? Okay. Anyone else would like to come up and ask questions about PLO, Arafat? Is that you though, Golda? I just want to make sure because I just want to make sure. Sorry, I'm just looking through my requests. Yeah, that's what I thought. Let me, Golda, can you go ahead and block that person? But get their account information. I do have one. We'll do Patrick, and then we'll close up. Go ahead, Patrick. Once you get your, he's got the loading bubbles of, there you go. Hi, Patrick.
Hi.
Go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you for having this beautiful informational life.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm someone that believes that we have to stop debating them about history and start investigating instead. So be an investigator instead of a debater. How can we follow the money trail of all these podcasters who seem to push one narrative, and they're all getting funded by foreign money? So do you have like a recommendation or suggestion on how we can do that?
Great question. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question. There are, I suppose, I'm trying to think if there's a licensing situation, but I suppose most podcasters don't have a licensing situation. And they're not subject to freedom of information requests. So I don't know if you can get it from that side, but can we get it from the other sides? Can we identify the entities that we're suspicious of providing and funding these kind of things and see where they spend their money? I think that's where you're going to have to look to. You're going to have to identify what entities do we believe. Now, there are going to be some that are underground. If the Chinese Communist Party, you're never going to get that. But if there are American organizations, foundations that
the reason and why I'm asking this, I'm German, and we have a broadcast fee that we have to pay every year in Germany. And we have state channels that have production firms in Gaza. And it happened to be that one of the production firm called CDF was funded by German tax-paying money, and there were Hamas operatives within that channel. So I truly believe we have to stop debating and start investigating, and this is being funded with my tax-paying money. Terrorists are directly funded with my tax-paying money. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you, Patrick.
Great question. Thank you for the encouragement. That may be easier to do in other nations than it would be in the United States, but I completely support the effort to do that. And maybe foreign nations would be easier to find out. And some of the groups that are doing this funding may be coming from foreign nations where that's possible. United States, with the First Amendment and privacy rights, it's going to be hard to look at podcasters but possible to look maybe at foundations.
I mean, we see Al Jazeera as an example, and a lot of their the branches that come out of Al Jazeera being shut down, even in countries that are Arab or Muslim countries. So if
Right.
they're shutting them down, there might be a reason, and I think people need to listen to that, that extra information that they're getting to kind of be discerning. Like, maybe that's not an outlet that I should pay attention to. Why are they tied to the Muslim Brotherhood? How is Qatar influencing those types of things? Before you go, are there any last kind of nuggets that you wanted to share with the crowd? And of course, we want them to purchase the book Disinformation. They can find it on Amazon. They can find it on Audible. They can find it actually even like Apple has their own Audibles. So all kinds of network, Google Play. So is there any other, but aside from that, is there anything else you want to give the audience tonight about what maybe we talked about, something that stands out to you? Final thoughts.
Well, just one of my favorite little anecdotes with Pachepa. He and his wife and I and my wife were having lunch one day, and he made reference to he's written the manuscript. I have the manuscript. I plan to do a book about him, but respecting his wife's, who lives under their identity still. So I don't wait until that was no longer important. But he said, "Remember the manuscript I gave you?" And I said, and he said, I sent it to you. And I said, "Yeah, I'm not sure I know where it is." He said, "You said you liked it." Well, I said, "Well, I'm sure I did." And I said, "I'm not sure where it is." He turned to my wife and goes, "Kill him." And there was just a certain chill in it that you think, this is a guy who might have actually given it. And he says he didn't. He was a real person to me. There was a time when he got worried that he would be brought in front of the International Criminal Court, and he called me up and wanted me to come see him at his house, and I was going to be, and I live nowhere near him, and I was going to be close by in 2 weeks, and I said I'll come when I'm close by. And he said, "No, you got to come sooner," and that was going to be affordable, and then I said, "Well, a week from now," and he wanted me there the next day, and he was at that moment, he was the elderly man who was worried about himself and his family, and he needed me there. He needed someone there promising to be his lawyer if he needed a lawyer, but being someone he needed to talk to. And it was just, there was a certain realness about that, because living under a false identity, he told me there were 5 people who knew who he was, and I was one of them at that point in time. And he's a real man underneath. There were real emotions. And I would see him get choked up at times, talking about stuff, talking about his daughter, talking about leaving his country, talking about how he did love Romania, but talking about how he loved the United States of America, talking about how he loved free speech. And he had a run-in with the Obama administration where they wanted him to stop writing his columns. And he refused to. He said, I've sacrificed everything to have my voice. I'm not going to give up my voice.
That's right.
It was a true and deep friendship with him, and he taught me so much, and I'm lucky to have had this opportunity to work with him.
What a blessing, and truly, what a way to point out like how amazing our nation is. To be able to speak the truth and to not have to worry that you're speaking the truth. Freedom of speech is something people often take for granted. And, such a good point, that this man sacrificed everything, left his daughter behind so that he could reclaim his voice, find kind of that power back, and then almost make amends a little bit for some of the things that, he knew he was responsible for kind of imposing on the world and through the disinformation campaigns that were coming out of there. So thank you so much for your time and your energy and a late night kind of session like this. I really do appreciate it. I know you're a busy man. And I hope you'll come back one day. I really do. I hope you'll come back and we can maybe talk about little more detailed and nuanced information if you'd like.
Well, I'd be happy to do it. Just be in touch. Great luck with your program and your work, and I wish you the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ron. And everyone is saying thank you in the chat to you. So thank you very, very much. And I'll give you some information about what kind of audience we have, and I'll text you later about that.
Great. All right. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So there we go. Let me turn this off. Let me get some of my friends in here who want to talk about what they just heard. Chat fam, if you want to talk about what you heard, would love to hear it. Let me just quickly put the, gosh, you know, like just hearing, like just having someone admit and acknowledge that, you know, Arafat was installed for the very purpose of trying to oppose Israel and trying to oppose the Jewish people, you know, and to get that confirmation was so huge. And I hope that you guys that have been part of our debates, thank you, Aaron, thank you, that have been part of our debates and dialogues and conversations, hearing that from an expert. I did see Tasnimo in the live breaking down about it. Good. You know, like sometimes you have to hear the truth from the experts and stop pushing your own agenda, which is false, and, you know, participating in disinformation campaigns. And if anything, like learn from Pachepa, who ended up leaving that world and like choosing truth. So yeah, let's bring up my friends and everything up here and let's have a conversation. I'd love to. Let's do this. Slowly but surely, let's get everybody up here.
The last thing he said was probably the most chilling for some reason. When he said Obama's administration reached out to ask him to stop writing his articles.
Yeah.
Like one of the things
Bravo, girl. Amazing.
Yeah, to Pachepa, yeah.
Right, but
That
like
was so natural.
talk
Shit,
about.
I didn't even hear you, Coach. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Like one of the things we talk about on here is, you know, and Hammer drills it home every time it's brought up, is, you know, free speech is not what most people think of it as. It's your freedom to speak without fear of reprisals from the government. Like the government's not to interfere with your speech. And now you have a situation where somebody who's defected is being asked by the government to curtail their speech. Like that is the First Amendment violation right
That is
there.
crazy.
Like how, and it's like for an administration that I voted for and fucking supported.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to ask why so badly.
In the book, he talks about even George Bush, who in 2003 believed somebody has a little bit of buzz, just so you guys know. So it's in the book that even Bush fell for, you know, a lot of the disinformation. And it was something that really kind of blew my mind, and it's in the book. And that's why I want people to listen to the book. If you can't read it, because, you know, like I've some of my friends, I get it. There's, whether it's ADHD or time, or you're driving to work and you don't have the time, etc. Like, just put it on Audible and take a moment, because the information in this book, it's like, you're not going to find it anywhere else. When I first brought to the community 2 years ago, the fact that the PLO was curated and created, the Palestinian identity was curated and created specifically to push against Zionism and Israel. And I gave quotes from Zulkar Mohisin and other PLO executive members. This was one of the books that was the reason that I was able to bring that. So like when I tell you guys, 900 pages is a lot. You can't cover 900 pages in an hour and a half interview, but there's so much information out there. And yeah, it's worth your while to take a moment and try to read the book if you can.
Also, he's just like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone that I've interviewed has been like the nicest person,
Super
and like
easygoing. Like
Yeah, he was super cool to just sit and
super
like talk
natural
to
and
us. And
yeah. I mean, he does it for a living. He's a professor. So like he does teach for a living, and it really was nice to have an opportunity to be taught, which we don't get often.
Just based off of what Coach just said, you know, I've been privileged enough to be born in America, and I thank God for that. But when my family, one of the things that they, don't take for granted is the freedoms that they have here that they didn't have under the Soviet Union. So to have him come over and defect like he did, and to have them try to strip away his freedom of speech, that means a lot more to people who are defecting where there wasn't any freedom of speech. Like these people in the comments who are like, I thought you Israelis don't like freedom of speech. You don't know what it's like to have your freedom of speech taken away from you. You don't know what it's like to be sent to the gulag because you're a Jew, because you speak up, because you went to synagogue.
Yeah.
You don't understand. And anybody who says, and I've heard them say, that American prison systems are worse than the gulag has never been to a fucking gulag or
Insane.
read anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And Pachepa, he really Living Waters, you've got an echo. I'm just going to mute you until just to have this final thought here on Golda's point is that he risked his life. He left his daughter behind to right some of the wrongs, and to admit and acknowledge that some of the shit, to put it bluntly, that they put out, the propaganda, the disinformation that they put out, did a lot of damage. And I don't want people to lose sight of the fact of the earlier part of the interview where we went over it multiple times, that damage is still in its evolution stage today when it comes to the Israeli conflict with Hamas and all the other terror factions, and with this whole narrative, the Nakba narrative is what I'm going to call it. So don't get lost in the fact that, don't lose that because we didn't hear it later in the interview. Like that, to me, that was such an important point, and I hope people truly kind of digested that, because I don't know, it's something that I feel like we fight every day on these lives, but people don't really know where it came from. But now you know where it came from. It came from the person that ordered it all. So
Do I still have an echo?
No, you're
I
better.
think
Awesome.
you're better.
I
And
just want
just really fast, I sent you a message on Telegram. Just check quickly, please.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Living Water.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for having him up there. It's just I was 8 when I left Romania, and like I was telling you guys, my parents fought in the Romanian Revolution, but I remember going to school and being told by my parents, don't talk about being a Christian, don't talk about this, don't talk about that. I remember, every morning, kind of like like even at school, you're being indoctrinated, like, and I remember like he was talking about how Ceausescu was executed on pretty much live TV, and then also the fact that Ceausescu, outside of Romania before the fall of communism, he was viewed as a good person. Kind of like the whole Palestine thing. People are seeing them as good people until something burst that bubble, that disinformation. And again, that freedom that we have here in America that Golda was talking about. I mean, this life, I don't know, it just brought me back. Because I remember my parents kissing me goodbye before they went to fight in the revolution because they didn't know how that was going to turn out. And then I actually remember seeing a burnt body of a communist, then like a day later, because my grandpa was walking me to my parents' home. So there's certain things that you never forget. And this guy talking, it's just like, I'm definitely getting you the book, and I'll drop now. But I just wanted to tell you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're welcome. And there's so much more to cover, but I'm glad you came up to ask your question.
Thank you. Bye.
Was there anything else that stood out to people? Chat fam, was there anything else that stood out to you?
I think for me, it's just how prevalent, you know, these other groups were able to take this one idea, this one concept, and use it to more or less like destabilize and demoralize so much of our society and like societies around the world. It's like it's a proven method that works, and that's terrifying.
And social media and I are only going to make it worse. And I feel like this conflict that Israel's going through right now with Hamas is kind of the precipice of it. It's like we're seeing how damaging it can be. I feel like Ukraine sort of, but this more so.
Well, this is, we're seeing all their plans that what you were just talking about come to fruition, which is like kind of terrifying. And I saw people in the comments writing, I believe Siggy wrote, are we doomed? And frankly, Siggy, I don't know. But we have Shuki, I know you wanted to say something.
I'm just going to say real quick what stood out to me is that there were so many questions that you could have asked him, but you asked really poignant ones, and
Thank you.
it was really well done as usual. Proud of
Thank
you. I'm going to drop for now. Love
Thank
you
you for
guys.
saying that. I worked really hard to
Yeah,
curate
I
the
bet.
questions so that there was a flow, but following his flow. So thank you for saying that. I
Yeah,
appreciate
it was
that.
great. Good job. And
it
I'll
was
talk to you
very
guys
natural.
soon. Yeah, it was very natural. It kind of just flowed. It was really great.
Good.
All right, talk to you guys shortly.
Bye,
Thank
Donnie.
you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye,
babe.
Donnie.
Shuki, go ahead.
Hi, thank you for bringing it up. I was kind of wanted to ask a question for the professor, but unfortunately it's too late now. I was kind of interested in, I think I spoke to you about that already, that the USSR wasn't against Israel from the get-go. It kind of evolved, but they were probably the first country that recognized Israel de jure, but later in the 60s, when they realized that Israel's not going to be a bastion of socialist, communist, like the socialist Zionists. Then, when they evolved their alliances and
So
started to drive a wedge, so to
that's
speak.
sort of true, but what's poignant about this book is about how the pogroms that were in the 1800s in Soviet Russia against the Jewish people, the passing out of the protocols of Zion book, the
Yes.
continued desire to thread anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism into global ideology, that was always kind of very present. So while I agree with you about that, there's this other element, and I think that's probably the element that is
I
the
think
most
they were
dangerous.
using Israel as a tool against the United States. And then once we started leaning more capitalist, they realized that they couldn't use Israel as a tool, but they weren't ever like pro-Israel.
Right. And don't forget, they're the ones that encouraged Egypt to start the war of 67. They were in Nasser's ear, and it was all kind of purposeful to see if they could keep that foothold, which they did eventually.
There were some socialist Zionists that celebrated Stalin's birthday and stuff. And
everywhere. Yeah. I mean, like,
By the way, guys, thank you for the gifts, but also the gifts on the live Tango. I do not know how you kept a straight face. You guys with the gifting, that was amazing.
I tried not to look, but I saw him in the Pharaoh cap with the eyeliner, and I was
took
like,
a screenshot
That
just
was
as it was going.
definitely not me. I
Hold on.
promise
I
you
took a
that was not
screenshot
me.
as it was disappearing, and I caught you smirking, and it's like the best screenshot. I'm gonna send it to you.
good. Yeah, I was trying not to laugh. But yeah, Flat Fam, you guys were great.
Yeah, you guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much. For everyone who gifted so far, really appreciate it.
Thank you, and if just keep
I
tapping.
totally
'Cause it really
screenshotted
helps.
it too, but I screenshotted it in the beginning because I definitely didn't give that Pharaoh gift.
I got it at the very end, and like you should see Deb's face. She's literally like trying not to laugh. Wait, is it this one?
Totally trying not to laugh. But let's see. Let me make it big for a second. Thank you. Wow. Oh, you sent it to fax. Thank you for sending that gift to fax. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can.
You're
see
like
me
really trying to hold it in.
I really did try. Chat fam, what did you think about having that guest? What is something that stood out to you? I'd like to know from the audience, since I do this for you guys. Did you guys like it? Did you guys appreciate it? Is this like the type of are these the type of guests that you want to hear from? These types of experts? Kind of just curious what the audience is feeling and thinking.
Panel fam says yes. Chat fam, give us your answer.
It's
Okay.
very important for us to know where we come from so we know where we should go, right? There was a lot of, to be honest, we have heard about it sound like propagandas that the KGB started it, but it helps hearing from him,
Well,
Absolutely.
it also kind of begs the question, like, how much of the shit that we are dealing with today was created over there? It's like
Mhm.
the Nakba, we know it went through this metamorphosis of what Constantine Zarek referred to it as into this, sob story about displacement and blah blah blah. Like, what did they come up with that there? Like, yeah, they did. They
It
came
was
up with
actually
that there.
as well
amazing.
as inflating the numbers.
It's amazing
Which
to
I
see
have evidence
Jonathan
of.
Katz in here calling him crazy, and I'm sitting here going, "You're literally
Which
the
what?
victim." Yeah,
Oh, see, I couldn't read the chat because I had both screens and him
he
in front of
literally he
me.
goes, "Oh, so he's crazy, crazy."
So
No, it's
Cass
just you're the
is
victim of like
Exactly, like
all the
literally, he's case
disinformation.
in point, the victim of the disinformation, and
yeah.
being faced with it, he can't handle it.
I only saw Nemo put clown emojis. So I didn't see all that. I'm glad they heard him. I am so glad.
I did say I muted Jonathan Katz after a minute because I hate him and I wanted him to just listen without talking.
That's okay. I don't care, but that's great. Like he was forced to listen and good. Good. There's other people on the chat fam or the panel. So did anyone else want to add anything?
Yeah, may I, if you don't mind?
Please, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Tango. That was an amazing live. By the way, it's really informational because it's very important for us to know where this whole thing came from. And, we're still digging through it. But the most important thing is that we all know that these people don't have any intentions on stopping. And so
Right.
going forward, they even said that they want to cease fire for 3 to 5 years, and then they want to restart this whole thing over again.
Yeah.
Who knows, 5 years, 10 years, but we don't want our kids to go through this.
Agreed.
So I wanted to ask him, what is the best way for us to fight this disinformation? Because we don't want our kids to go through the same thing, right? All of you guys, I've been watching you guys. You guys do an amazing job. And I see it takes a toll, right? It's not easy.
You also do it every day.
Well, not as
Yeah.
much as you guys. Like, you guys do
We
an
do it
amazing
too
job.
fast.
And
But
yep,
if I
you
could
have
give
to
you
investigate.
the answer is what we've been doing, which is bringing truth, bringing primary sourcing to public forums where people can see for themselves. And then the goal then is to, you got to trust people with the information. We've got to, and if people aren't ready to open their eyes now, it's okay because we'll still be here continuing to do that.
I think this would be a perfect time. Coach, are you there?
No, we're not gonna do that right now. I want to do a pause on that. I know what you're trying to do, not right now.
Because I feel like that would play into what Fax is talking about.
No, I agree. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are people that are, there's still a buzz. I'm so sorry, Golda. There are people that are working on trying to get platforms going and websites going, repositories of data going, and a lot of us are working on that. And so know that that's like in the cards. It's coming down the line. But again, you guys holding your lives, you guys hosting, having just even if you don't have opposition, just pointing to the truth, because there's people in the audience listening, and that's what's important, is that they're hearing the truth, and they're hearing the information versus the disinformation.
Please boycott eBay.
No, I hold on a second. We're not doing that here. I did see that people in the chat were asking where will you find the interview. I've been up to my like above my head with a lot of things, but I'm going to be uploading all of the interviews that I've done. This one will probably go first because I was able to get him in frame and the sound like perfect, and then the John Spencer one. But they'll all be on my YouTube channel, which is just my username, Tengo I don't have anything there yet, but they'll all be on there. And then I'm gonna try to cut some down and start to use them as posts. But anyone can do that. Like if you learned something and you liked an answer, go ahead and grab it and use it and post it. Right?
You interviewed John Spencer, and I missed it.
It was like,
damn it.
Was it August, April? I don't know. April was Andrew Fox. I think it was like around August.
God. Yeah, that was really.
I'll bring him back.
Please.
Tenga.
Yeah.
Just so you know, so I tried uploading that live that we had Anthony Aguilar on the panel to YouTube. So I started a YouTube page and all that stuff.
That's great.
It's fucking difficult because if it times out this or that, like
I haven't been able to get it done yet. Like
I wanted to let you know, if you want to send it to me, I can upload it. If you want to give me the information, I can upload it for you. I finally figured out a method to keep the computer from like shutting it down, etc. So I
also
can.
need someone write to me and like make that offer that's part of our chat fam. So if I can't do it myself, I will definitely do that for sure.
Nick is uploading each of his
I know,
lives,
but he's
so
someone recording that for him.
Yeah, somebody does that for him.
No, that's what I can listen to when I drive. So I'm really glad Nick does that.
I need to get you a way where you can like triple stream the way that Sam does. Like it's like on YouTube and on TikTok and like Instagram at the same time or something like that.
Because by the way, guys, I'm a marketer and I'm a developer. If you guys need help setting up podcasts, using AI to, repost videos or streaming your lives to multiple platforms at the same time,
thank you.
This is, I think, something we need. We need to empower ourselves because we have all of these people spreading disinformation.
Wow.
They're building platforms on all of these platforms. And I think for us, we need to empower ourselves and our allies and friends to fight, to build their own platforms. Like Tango, you're amazing. I want to see you on every single platform.
Thank you.
TikTok is not the biggest platform. I want to see you on YouTube, Facebook, on all these platforms. And
I would love to be able to make this into a podcast where we do an interview once a week with someone that just happens to be an expert. I'm actually working on grabbing Eisenberg. For those that don't know, he's on X, but Salo Eisenberg is on the board for Honest Reporting. He's also in the Henry Jackson Society, but all the breakdowns that happen with like the lies that Hamas tells about the unalivings and the casualties and all that, famine, all that. Anyway, he breaks that all down on X. So he's one of my next. And I'm also working on two really famous psychologists and to have them come and discuss with us, why do people fall for the conspiracy theory? So now that we've learned about how the conspiracy theories get put into the ether by groups like who we learned about today, the next is why do people fall for it and how can we help them not fall for it? So we have Michael Shermer is one of them, and Rob Brotherton, who both wrote books about conspiracies and why the psychology of why people believe it. And so I think it's important for people to understand if you have fallen for something, if you've been duped, please do not feel embarrassed or ashamed. This is the reality of the world we live in today. What my hope is that you see that there are people that do have good intentions, like myself and Coach Golda Beach, people that are on the facts, like people that take the time to do these lives to teach that, we're here to give that true information. So,
could I ask you something about actual teaching? I mentioned this to some other people because I was a teacher, an assistant principal. Currently, a lot of the unions are unfortunately owned by the pro-Pally crowd. And in our public elementary schools and high schools, they're putting forth really frightening curriculum, really absolutely horrible curriculum. And I have been asking people, I don't know, I mentioned it to Nick once, he doesn't know who I am, but I was when I was live, and now to you and other people, we need to make actual curriculum that we can bring to the UFT or bring to the AFT because it's a
I've been
very
in.
bad situation and they are not getting anything from us.
Well, here's the thing though. These curriculums that have been turned in, I've had to fight in front of districts. That's one of the real advocacy things
God
that I
bless
do.
you for that. Thank you.
It's not easy, and the boards, these districts don't necessarily want to have to take the time to redraw something when they've spent all this money for it. So it's a very hard fight, but the fight is there. If you live in the United States,
I do.
go to your board meetings that happen for your school districts. Listen to what they're talking about. These curriculums are coming. Semitic's not wrong, and some of them are already being introduced. So, oh, it's Shoshana. So Shoshana.
I like the alliteration.
Case in point, the NEA, the National Educators
Yep.
Association, starting to teach the Holocaust as there were many victims of the Holocaust and taking out the fact that Jews were the main target.
So that's an LAUSD issue, and we're fighting it as much as we can.
We need to have packets. We need to have actual things we can give. Because yes, they've spent this money. Yes, they've invested this with their stupid professionals that they had come out and do professional development. It's a waste of time. But if we have actual packets and we have something, if we have actual curriculum. I've made curriculum before. You know, that we can just hand them. That would help. And you're the choices.
Well, let's just say there's some people that are working on just that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach.
I will say that just so I can do a little plug, if people want to donate to a group of friends who are actually trying to build exactly what we're all talking about, please go to Coach's profile. He's got a Buy Me a Coffee link up there, and that money's not going to him. That money's going for a nonprofit kind of one-stop shop for exactly what you're talking about. And we can't give much information about it out now, but it's in the works. So if you want to help our community, you want to help some of the friends that you love and know on the app that are trying to do this, please go to Coach's bio and donate to that coffee link. Even if you donate $1, $3, every little bit helps to help us move this thing forward so we can get to the place with what you're talking about, Shoshana.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop off, but before I do, that's facts. That's based on what you were just talking about, as far as like having tools and like how do we fight. We don't fight the disinformation with disinformation, and having a tool like this, I think, is going to be so helpful to those of us who do host lives and those of us who are advocating and working to get the truth out there. So everybody, Coach has a link in his bio. Please donate whatever you can. If not, just at least like, I don't know, should we be sharing the link? Because you have like a shareable thing that we can do? Not yet. Okay, we'll get there. Everybody donate to Coach. Tango, you did amazing. Thank you so much for everything.
I hope it was in educational in multiple ways.
No, it was awesome. Tango. And you did a great job, and it was educational and it was natural, and I look forward to many more of these. I have to babysit very early, so I'm going to go to bed. But have a good night, guys.
Thank you so much. My ex-husband, he was living in the period of Ceausescu, and he told me so many things, and they really suffered. They couldn't talk. They couldn't talk in their home. Every day of his life, he cursed Ceausescu, and mostly his wife. Apparently, his wife was a witch. She was. They considered his wife worse than him. And now I text him. I asked him, "Do you know about Pacepa?" And he said, "Of course, you mean the general for Ceausescu?" And I say, "Yes." He said, "Of course, I know." I wanted to talk to him about it now. You know, he was telling me all about, but without names. And he's a physician, so he's overload. He just say, I need to sleep, but I would ask him, if you like the life under communist Romania, because he lived it. They immigrate to Israel. Few years, like they immigrate around 1987, and the demonstration and the הפיכה, how to say it, like
Revolution.
yeah, the
Protests.
revolution came about 2-3 years later.
What I think
Actually,
is really,
1990.
yeah, what I think is truly mind blowing about this particular live and what we learned is that, and I don't think people realize, when I said that Pachepa was the highest ranking Soviet bloc defector of the KGB, I hope when you heard Ron say it was like having a vice president defect from his own country, like that is how big of like a whoa moment that is, because when you read the book, you're reading, he's literally telling you everything they did, and when he was responsible for creating, like if it was his idea for whatever, like for example in the pro-Palestinian movement, right, if it was his idea, he tells you in the book, like this was something that I knew would be successful because we were using the same MO with Vietnam or with Bolivia or with Cuba or with Che Guevara. And most people don't know this, but if you drive around in Gaza or in the West Bank, the murals you see painted on the walls in the cities are of Arafat, Che Guevara, and all these revolutionists. So
Exactly.
this was something implanted as a seed, and it's just evolved into something so bad.
But the worst thing, the horrific thing, I think, that it was implanted by the highest people in governments.
Yeah.
So it's even worse. It's
Yeah.
even worse. You know, it's not little people that are
No, I know. That's
planning
why I
to do
wanted people to learn
revolution.
about it.
It's the people that we are supposedly choosing to lead us.
There's a great quote in the book.
Okay, I have to drop. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry that I didn't bring you up. He only
Yeah.
wanted one more, and I was like, oh no, you're the last one. But you know what?
Don't worry about it.
He will come back. So he'll
Okay.
come back. He will come
I'll
back.
see you around. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So anyway,
Wait, hold on one second, Sagalit, because one thing that's important is in the book, you just have to read, it says that George Bush himself, George Bush, 2003, this happened in 2003, stood across from someone that the KGB said, had to be in front of Bush. And that Bush believed him and said, this guy looks believable and honest and this and that. And the KGB was laughing in the background because it was someone that they installed to be in front of our own leadership to manipulate our American leadership. So it's in the book. Make sure people read the book, because to me,
I already ordered it. I ordered it. You see how fast I ordered it.
That's good.
Yeah, and I did it in hardcover because I wanted to be safe and that my boys will read it as well. It's important. It's so important, and I will make sure everyone I know will read it. It's really important.
Yeah, I agree. Gator, did you want to mention anything? Hi.
Yeah, well, I was just going to bring up that I really liked the fact that he brought up the protocols of elders of Zion, how they were like the books were implanted into those territories and whatnot, and it kind of makes you wonder, was Mein Kampf also done that same way?
Yes, it's written about in the book. Yes.
Yeah, and then
yes.
The other thing I was going to talk about was how like the KGB infiltrated the UN, and that was really good too.
But what's make it outrage? Because those people, how it's affect us, the people, and they do it anyway. Like they don't have any moral. They don't have any like, it's really disgusting.
It's just what we're fighting, and with the advent of social media, it just makes it that much harder. So I always figured you have to know what you're fighting. I'm just going to mute you secretly because you've got a little bit of an echo, but you have to know what you're fighting in order to, someone else that has a buzz, in order to get the truth out there. So you have to know you have to know what your enemy has planned, in order to confront them. And now you guys know, like, the reason you saw this on US campuses is because the very playbook that the KGB wrote is the same playbook that has evolved and is being used by the Muslim Brotherhood, by Hamas, by these other factions. So it's not surprising, right? Now we know who we're dealing with. That's to me, and that's how, then we know what to teach, right? Because we can point to that and say, but that's not the truth. Here are the primary sources that say differently. And that's why, like, I like when you guys gift my lives, and thank you for everyone that gifted today. The reason that every coin goes to getting another primary source that I've been, I've had on a list for 20 years that I've been wanting to grab, because it brings the truth forward from the past. And it's so easy to manipulate the past because most people nowadays don't care to read anyway. So something to keep in mind, right? When we're hearing disinformation from certain voices.
Yeah,
I
no,
was going
you're
to say,
totally right.
I think that I would like him to, like, if we get an opportunity to speak to him again, I think I would like for him to, like, teach us how to evaluate, like, misinformation, disinformation, malinformation,
I
like
think
how to,
instead of
how,
him, I have
mhm.
someone that is better for that.
Oh yeah,
I have
I think
my
you're going to have them
former.
coming up pretty soon, right?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
this is, I mean, that's not his expertise, but you're right. We need someone that's an expert, not just our voices, teaching people, how do you discern? How do you know? How do you read that? So yeah, I agree with you, Gator, that would be a great topic of conversation with an expert to talk about it.
Yeah, because I was going to go up, but I had like several questions, so I figured I have too many questions. So,
You're welcome, Sarah.
but that's where he was saying, each person needs to investigate, but then there's like so many conspiracy theorists out there that they start coming up with their own conspiracies, and then that conspiracy becomes misinformation or disinformation. So it's just frustrating.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I'm
So
gonna drop now. I just wanted to say thank you for having me up
You're
so much.
welcome. And
You were
I do
amazing.
promise everyone that I will upload these. This one is probably going to be the first one uploaded because it'll be easy to clip this ending part and just throw it on there. I don't have to do any editing of my side because it worked out perfectly with the lighting and with like the framing. So,
Awesome. And John Spencer, don't
yes,
forget.
and I'll ask him again if he'll come back. He will. He really enjoyed our interview. He said he would come back. There's definitely a line of people wanting to come and discuss. And by the way, I just want to tell everyone, every single one of my interviews, they've all donated their time to us, and I'm just so grateful for that.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Please come back.
I will. Oh, I will. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you, Erin. Thank you. Do you want to come back up? If anybody else wants to discuss it on the panel, or do you guys want to go debate, let me know, and I'll point you to Coach's Live if you want to debate, or dialogue with anyone. To me, it's just, was there any kind of like, well, like you're welcome, Yael. You're welcome. I hope I asked something that was helpful for you. Coach, you asked at the end, or like, was there one thing about, what they've done that kind of stands out to you? Was there anything that he said, like this, like one thing that really stood out, like, oh shit moment, or like, oh wow?
I don't know if he understood my last question because it was sort of like I was trying to ask if, at the point in time, at that point in history, America and Israel were not yet allied, really.
Right. No, I agree with you. I
So
don't
if you're
think he knows
trying,
that history.
so if you're trying to sow like this, or use disinformation and sow this identity, why Israel? Like, what was it
Oh,
to
because
prevent
yeah, they
Israel,
didn't
which
want
at the time was like Israel was struggling. It was still going through like the tail end of a depression.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but the problem is that I did try to help him with the answer, but that the answer I gave is actually the answer. Um, you have to go all the you have to go all the way to back to 1933 to kind of understand. The 1933, the Iraqi pipeline that was supposed to go from Iraq through the Haifa port to get oil out to the Mediterranean was being built. Actually, it's what brought over all these Arabs who now claim to be Palestinians, not all of them, but many, a majority of them, into the Levant. And Soviet Russia was not happy that the mandate, French and British, had got more land than the what we let's call it the Russian mandate, right? Some of the land that they would have been owed for helping fight in World War II. So this is a lot of like leftover shit from World War I and World War II. And so what do they say? Well, if the US is allied with the French and with the British, the last thing we want is having power in the MENA. So then we're going to push for that power. It's why Russia had such a huge footprint in Syria. It's why Russia has had a huge footprint in places like ANC South Africa, and why that ICJ claim has come to be what it is when it's not really true. But it's all because they wanted to create a wedge where the US truly wouldn't have a foothold in the MENA. But Israel kind of saw through that. And then the big thing that dropped was that the Soviets helped Egypt during 67. And that was kind of like it.
Yeah, it makes
So
sense.
that's why. If you're asking about how that developed to be, that's why. And it was all about Soviet US kind of because you have
Yeah,
to go through the
they
whole
wanted to have their stronghold. That's why they partnered eventually with Syria, etc.
yeah, and it's just like the space race about who was going to be first. It was the same kind of mindset. I just didn't know that the Soviets spent more money in developing their disinformation department and creating it and growing it than they paid to their entire military combined. Like everything military combined in Russia got less money than their disinformation department.
Yeah, that was a crazy fact when I heard that as well. I was like, what? That's a lot of investment into something, and not like it wasn't just like a short term investment either. It's something that's still lingering till this day. And may never go away.
Yeah. And oops, I'll get it going. It says I'll get it imaging. I'll get it going. Is it Space that made that comment? Space Idiots.
Think about how much you think the KGB spent on having KGB
Billions.
members following the Jewish members during the Soviet
Billions.
Union. I'm from
Billions.
there. I'm from the Soviet Union.
Billions. Two billions to unalive Pachepa. Billions to do what you're saying. Billions.
What's wild to me is that like he still won't publish a book about Prochepa because he's fearful, even in her 90s, for his wife.
Yeah.
Like it just shows you like when they want somebody, they that grudge lasts forever apparently. Shit.
It's really bad. And there's a little bit about that in the book. Because Pachepa wasn't his code name, right? It wasn't Mike. It
Right.
wasn't Pachepa. He had and a lot was done over there under that name. So yeah. And if people don't
Like
know why he was into cars, just so people understand, Detroit was a landing zone for Russians who were leaving Russia during this defect period. So a lot of them, like his dad, ended up in Detroit, working and building cars. And actually some of the schmazzies, by the way, also ended up there doing the same. It was a place where people would land, and it was the communists and the fascists who landed in the same place, which is now,
right,
funny
it's
enough,
so wild.
Dearborn, Michigan, which is where the Islamists have landed too, which is kind of crazy to me. But
I mean, it kind of makes sense if you think about it, but like
That's one thing. Sorry.
I was actually really curious, and I'm sad you missed it. But he talked about how like when Prochepa met his wife, which is a really cute story, kind of.
yeah,
But like how he was, kind of lonely, and it for some reason, I mean, it was already he would have already been married when he came to the U.S., but like I wonder if he connected with Bezmenov, or was it too dangerous to do so?
No, they talk about it. There's a lot of stuff that talks about that. Listen, the book. I need people to buy the book, right? I want people to read the book. And there's information that he didn't want to go over because he liked people to purchase the book. But a lot of that you can find in the book, and you can also find how a lot of these defectors did go in different directions in the 80s and 90s, and how Bezmenov focused on the leftists, if you will, like what you were talking about last night, and how for Pachepa, the big point was about not polarized, not speaking about how it's political one way or the other, but how the disinformation is meant to polarize no matter the politics, which was kind of his point. So Bezmenov and Pachepa disagreed on things in that way. So yeah, which I found really interesting.
And it's
Yeah,
just it's so fascinating. Like, give a nugget of truth, and so long as you tell the lie loud enough, you'll get those credible people to speak about it just because. Like, it's so weird. And now, what's fucking scary about it is, like, you kind of alluded to it before. With the birth of social media and the ability to, you know, to have viral videos and viral messaging.
Yeah.
I don't know that there is a real answer as to how you fight it. I mean, yes, obviously you fight it with the truth, but at that point, once you've sown enough doubt, like the whole point of demoralization is, what is the truth anymore?
There's a long difficult road we're about to walk, you know, as educators, as truth, you know, disseminators. It's going to be a hard road, and it's only going to get harder with AI, which has been kind of the thing that I'm dreading a little bit, because people are believing videos that are not real, you know. It's worrisome.
Yeah. But go ahead, Gator. I'm sorry I cut you off twice.
That's okay. One thing I was going to ask Ron, has his life ever been in danger for writing these books? You know, working with Pachepa, you know, stuff like that. I could only imagine that that it would be, you know, if Pachepa had a $2 million bounty on his head, you know. And then
he discussed that a little bit, I thought, in the live, but he said he's never really felt like it was legitimate, even though he knew those things were there.
I did have another question, but I forgot. My other question was going to be for him, but it's like how I think all of us kind of agree, like the IDF or Israel, you know, their war on propaganda since October 7th, like what would he have done differently, you know, or had them do differently, you know?
Yeah, I almost think that Israel kind of gave us that answer, which is they figure no one's going to believe them anyway, so why even spend the money to do it? But I think that was the bad approach.
That's how I feel as well. But I wish, in my opinion, I wish they would have done it differently.
Hi, sister. From Syria, need help for it. My family, please, Queen. From Syria, need help.
Got you. So if anybody wants to help this dude from Syria, I'll leave him up for about 20 seconds. And if anyone wants to help, do it. And if not, we'll drop them down. Coach, you're very nice. You're very sweet for doing that. Now, chat fam, if there's anyone that knows of people that have written books that talk about these things and that want to be interviewed, please let me know. And I will bring them and do this with them. Thank you guys for gifting him. I'm going to drop him in about 10 seconds. And yeah. Hi, Motek.
Oh my gosh, did I request?
You did. Were you like just waking up?
Sleep requesting. I'm sorry.
Go back to bed. Go back to bed.
I fell asleep. I'm sorry, you guys.
Poor thing. I've done that before. Coach, are you going to open a debate live?
Duh.
You are gonna? Okay. So then, do you want to go ahead and open it?
Come to it?
Yeah. So do you want to open it and then we'll co-host so that people move
Oh,
over
and do
there?
the
I turned off, like, I put my phone on do not disturb so I wouldn't get any like calls or drop downs or make the live go on pause. So I have a question for my audience real quick. I'm curious. There's a lot of mental health discussions that I think are totally related to what we've experienced. Um, whether it's people falling for the propaganda from one side or learning, being duped or whatever. Are those types of lives that you guys would like, where I use my expertise as a clinician to have a live? Okay, I'm gonna drop people and co-host with him. Gator, I'll see you in a little bit.
Tango,
But
I'll
yeah,
tell you this one. I probably could use your expertise. It's
let me
pretty
let me.
toxic around here.
I can tell. I'm going to drop you just so I can co-host with Coach, so we can move everybody over. But come over there and we can. I'm so curious. Let me do this with. How do I do that with Coach? Invite. Accept. Did I do it right?
yes.
Yes. Okay, so for those that want to watch us debate and dialogue like we usually do, all I need you to do is go and follow Coach and join the live over there, and that way he gets his numbers and the likes up, and we can like start doing that. But yeah, and if anyone in the chat fam, I'm just curious, if there are topics you want covered, like let me know, because I'd love to do that. Should we force a battle? Is that what you said is what does it? Obviously, you can gift yourself. I don't have anything to gift. Do you want to do that, Coach? Uh-oh.
We don't have to battle.
Okay. Oh, battle. Oh, Nat says battle. Okay, we'll do it anyway. Let's come on. We'll do it for fun. But don't gift yourself. Like, make it so that it's like just people that are listening.
I don't even have my other device on me.
Okay, perfect. So, hi guys. Just tap the live. Did you accept Are we battling already? I have no idea how
Yeah,
it
we're
even
already in
works.
the battle.
Hey.
We're in it. It's happening. Work as a team, guys. I don't even know what to say.
Like the
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, I like
Like
this.
the
So
live. First
what are we
gift
supposed to
is
say?
×3.
Oh, first gift is ×3. Come on, friends. Woohoo!
Come on, chat fam. My
No.
wife is gifting you. That's wild.
Yes, because I love her. Yes. Yes. Oh
I,
my
I
gosh.
feel I feel like she's been ideologically subverted.
Great. I'll take that. I will say I've never won a battle, so this if we get
Yes, you
this if
did.
we
You
eke
beat
it
me.
no, if we eke it out on this one, I will win. It would be the first time ever that I had won a battle.
I thought
I
you
had to
beat
come
me.
back to your live so I could tap. Thank you, Marissa. No, last time you had your other account on you, so I was down. So wait,
Oh, MZ beat me. MZ beat me.
what do we talk about when we're battling? What's supposed to happen? Like, are we supposed to
No,
say,
we're
"Grr,
like
come get me"?
technically you're supposed to talk to your team, I think,
My team.
and
Oh, I'll make sure. Did everyone join my
like
team
you're
today?
supposed to make them like gift you and whatnot. But I feel weird
That's so
doing
weird.
that because
Me too.
it's
That's so weird.
weird. But either way, whatever I make on TikTok also is now going into this project we're working on. So if you
Yep.
do want a gift, guys, we need 3 roses. 3 roses. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I just need 3 gifters. I have Aaron and Nat that have
Oh,
gifted.
three gifters. Three gifters. I need one more gifter. One
I need
person
one
drop
more
a rose.
gifter. I need one more gifter other than
One
my
more
friends.
gifter, 20 seconds or something, 30 seconds.
We
One
did
more
it.
gifter to drop a rose.
It says target reached. Thank you, Marissa. And now it says
No, one more,
×3
a
gifting
different
points.
person. We need a different person to drop a rose.
Thank you, Gator. Thank you, Fax. Okay, cool. And then it says
Come on,
×3
somebody.
gifting points starting
Anyone.
soon. Don't help him. Don't
Hey, I hear that.
don't help him. Help me. Even though like I'm on his live helping
What
him all
the
the
heck?
time. Are we kicking ass? And why are the battles so long? Like, is it purposeful that it's that way?
Why are they what?
They're so long. Like they're like, is it
Oh
five
yeah,
minutes?
it's 5 minutes per battle or something. But I did an entire day battling 2 days ago with your background.
That's hilarious. I'm just glad people showed up, and it's like the amount of people registered. It was almost just a little bit over that. We got to 200 viewers, which was great for him. So, and actually was over 1,100 individual accounts, which I'm going to let him know. So that's amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. Need to help him get famous, right? Like,
I mean, honestly, like I listened to it, so it's like I'm
thank you for.
listening
Oh,
to it in the
oh, now I'm
car.
losing. Now I'm losing.
Oh
Wait,
shit,
wait.
who did that?
What happens? What
I don't know.
happens? How do I?
Somebody gifted me.
Oh, oh, oh! Facts. F yeah. Facts came in. Clutch. Clutch.
Wow.
Clutch. 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 I've never done this before, so that was clutch. Facts. That was so cool. Thank you for that. Thank you. That's hilarious. I don't know how to do this. I'm not cool like all the guys on here. It's just me and my.
Snipe, y'all snipe. I don't even know what I'm saying.
What's that mean?
I think
I
it
will
means like
say
win at the end.
I have to say snipe. Oh, that's horrible. Snipe?
Right?
That's like the weirdest word.
That's what the kids call it these days.
If you haven't joined my team yet, before I close, before we all move over to coach, make sure you join my team. It's the little orange heart at the top. It's 1 coin. And it just helps, like, I guess supposedly what I've learned, it's supposed to help me move up in the rankings, which I'm really not good at this. Yael's like, oh my gosh, Yael wrote, you guys have to learn Jacob Berger's grift skills. Not wrong. Not wrong. I don't think anyone will ever top the grifting ability of Berger.
I am going to learn how to do the Dopka, and I will do it on a live or some shit.
Yes, thank you so much for the gift. Thank you.
Listen, on my panel the other night when I was,
Keep
or
tapping,
the other
keep
day
tapping.
when I was doing the when I was doing the battling to promote this thing, I was singing to the audience. Snipe, y'all. No, didn't happen. Yay, they go on.
Yay, I got my first win ever in a battle. Woohoo! All right, guys, thank you so much for that. Thank you to Fax and Aaron and Nat and to all of my amazing gifters. That was so
I
cool.
love that my wife
Marissa.
didn't support me. That was wonderful.
Yeah, well, Gator, Ryuk, Pally Lion, thank you. And Mexican Coach Fan. Thank you guys so much for helping me out.
W Mexican Coach
W
Fan.
Mexican Coach Fan. I'll see you guys on his live. Let's all go over there and see if we can get any what's it called? Any opposition, and see if we could talk about what we learned today, maybe. I don't know. So yeah. Yay. Okay. I love you all. Thank you. Thank you, Marissa.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. I don't even know, like, hang him up. Well, for my chat fam, for my family here, thank you so much for hanging with me, for taking the time to learn from an author that I know I've pushed his book a lot, but I thought it was so important. And yeah, I hope it was eye-opening, and I hope you feel I don't know, like you feel like you've learned something new that you had not known before. And if you had heard it from me before, like to hear it from an expert, I don't know, made it more understandable, if that makes sense. So for the 62 people here watching, I promise to go live again soon. I did get approval for TikTok Studio, so I need to do it from my computer, which I've never done before. I will try that, and we'll go from there. And let's look forward to a few more Q&As happening soon. I know Nick has one on November 5th with Officer Tatum that Nick is doing. So make sure you go and watch that one. And yeah, come back to me. And I love you all. And okay, thank you, Marissa, for letting me know. I would have been so surprised. I haven't even logged in today. So wow. Okay. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, everybody. If you want to say goodnight, I'll say goodnight to you. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Thank you to everyone who supported. It really means a lot to me. You have no idea. I had a hard day, so thank you. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Marissa. Thanks, Nat, for thank you to all the mods. Nat, Ryuk, I think Bij was in here modding. Aaron, thank you for modding. I know Golda modded a little bit, so thank you to every mod that I've had Marissa, before you go, hold on. Let me give you that because I didn't realize that you were not one. Hold on. Don't leave yet. There we go. Thank you, quality parent. Have a great night. Marissa, I made you a mod for next time, so thank you for that. So yeah, and if you want to debate me and dialogue about the Israeli Hamas conflict or anything, please go to Coach's Live and I'll see you over there after I eat dinner. So yeah, love you guys. Thank you guys so much for getting me to 226 likes as well. Thank you. Mwah. It says I'm in D1. I'm in the top. What does that say? I'm in the top something percent of D1. Cool. Cool. We did good. We did good. Thank you, chat fam. Yep. See you in Coach's Live. Thank you guys. Love you all very much. Thank you for supporting. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, Nat, I don't feel that way, but I did put the light on because I was like, ooh, with the shadows today. Ooh, hang up. You hang up. No, you hang up. You hang up. I love you guys. All right, I'll see you on Coach's Live. Ciao.
Half the shit. I signed a 99-year deal with the government. The benefits America gets from Israel is way more than $3 billion worth. Way more. Just in return, just in them buying other stuff to support what they get from us is already $10 billion on top of $3 billion. And then there's the America maintains its qualitative military edge over our adversaries. We're always a cunt hair better. And it's mainly because of the research we have with our allies. And a lot of it comes from Israel. And people don't even, whatever.
Whatever.
They're idiots.
I know, it's always ends right there. It's like, because it makes no
They're
sense.
idiots.
Well, the UK, they don't have any of their Israel's intelligence right now because of what they did. Israel said, yep, you don't get our intelligence usage. So they have.
Under the UK, we told them to go suck a dick.
Yeah, so they don't
And you
have
know
any.
what's funny is like you hear what France, was Unifil and all that. But just what, 2 weeks ago? Oh, please get our jewels back. They
Right.
robbed us. Can you help
Exactly.
us? Like, fuck you, you fucking dirty, stinky
That's what they did.
scumbags.
Yeah.
So we're not helping you. And how the Louvre that got robbed to begin with is insane.
It's a joke for them, pathetic fucking French idiots.
That had to be inside. There's no,
Oh,
and
they think
I
it
don't know. Did
was.
you guys see the video? I mean, the
No.
response time.
Have you seen
Oh
them
God.
leaving with a crane ever so slowly?
I was like, wow. I'm like counting. I'm like, what? They don't have a helicopter in France?
Apparently, they have nothing. They have
Nothing.
nothing,
It's
apparently.
seriously like the most. It shit. As far as when I've been there, I remember there was a lot of what do you call it? Security, like real security, everywhere. Like,
Bye. If it was me or you, there would have been the fucking stormtroopers. It was fucking mud hunters. They walked up to that thing with a hammer and said, "I'm gonna steal this." And they said, "Oh,
yeah.
okay." Oh, it's
Oh,
it's racism to stop you. Oh my God, here's your reparations, dude.
Hey.
If it was any other group of people, they would have pew-pewed them in the act, dude. France doesn't fuck around.
Hey,
I don't. Yeah.
I wanted to say hi to Renee. I haven't heard him all night since he's been up here. Hi, Renee.
Oh, hi, Eretz.
Buddy. Hey, the conversation, I'm going to say the conversation was out of range for a little while. I let it go. It was easier to stay on mute than get involved in that one.
Yeah, that was not what I wanted to wake up to.
Hey, you joined in the right time, man.
Wow.
Definitely. The shit you walk into, boy. He never knows what he's going to walk into on this panel. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
but hearing men discuss about female
Yeah.
issues on the downside, I'm like, what's going on here? Nothing good can come out of this conversation.
We had Crusader, like he was live like while he was doing Uber rides and crazy conversations. It was like taxi cab confessions or something.
I miss that show. Who doesn't miss that show?
I know.
Hey,
Those were the
we had it
original
live
content
tonight.
creators. Like now we get, Uber, cancellation ride in, hell. Taxi
I know,
cab
right?
confessions were the best. You ever see the uncensored version?
No.
Were they better?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. They, some things that happened in that back seat was interesting.
Yeah, that was funny because Crusader was instigating half the time, so it was pretty dang fun.
Yeah. One of the groups were making lewd jokes back with us over the live.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Mel was egging them on. You said something, and then they started joking, and then someone else in the panel said,
he goes, yeah, I hit 3 in the back and 1 in the front. I said, you sound like one of donkeys in a tunnel. Poor guy. But that was his theme for tonight. 3 in the back, 1 in the front. I was like, you get it. And then he was giving a ride to somebody named Frida. I said, what's her last name? Tits? Frida Tits.
I would never think about that.
Yeah.
Before I came up here, somebody came on my For You page. I don't know if this was recently. I got to check into it. Did you guys hear about someone who got arrested that committed 66 million in SNAP benefit fraud?
Yep, there's a group of people that worked for SNAP.
Yeah,
What the hell?
66 million.
Jesus, where did they store it?
I don't know. That's a lot of lobster tail and prime rib, let me tell you.
I know.
No, I didn't read that. I'll have to go check.
Sorry.
I don't know how Walmart, the people of Walmart, you ever see that channel or like profile, whatever? I don't know how they're going to get content if SNAP benefits stop, because those are one and the same, let me tell you. I actually went to Walmart today. It was an eerie feeling.
What do you mean eerie feeling? Like what?
You just have this feeling of impending doom. Does that make sense?
Oh, great. I was going to go there tomorrow. No, I'm not.
Well, no, not. I mean, have you guys not seen a lot of content that's coming out that November 1st is supposed to be Steal Your Food Day?
Yeah.
Or Steal Food Day?
Yep.
And they were saying, like, lock your cars up and make sure there's nothing in your car. Don't leave stuff in your car. I'm like, I don't leave stuff in my car. Oh, hold on, before I forget. Before I forget.
It was called You Can Both Screw Me at the Same Time. And it sounds like a 1970 folk song.
Wow.
Those songs are funny. I love them.
It sounds like it's really funny.
She goes, I like that. I haven't heard that kind of music in a long time. I said,
If you want to hear some like some of the most racist, disgusting, let's say there was for election songs back in the 20s
Oh,
and 30s in
oh,
the South.
yes,
The
raccoons.
Dixiecrats.
Yeah,
Wow.
because I
Just so, oh my, and even their election posters. Have you ever seen any of that?
yeah,
How
like
blatantly racist towards blacks and Jews it was. It was like
I
some of the,
Oh, this
and you
Saturday
catch
Night Live.
yourself
Yeah.
like, tapping your toe, like, oh, this is a good song. Then you start hearing the lyrics and you're like, oh, what
well,
the fuck am I listening to?
I go to the thrift store to get records to make clocks, right? Sometimes, and I make clocks out of the vinyl records. And yeah, I definitely got them old ones from when they used to run for stuff, talking about coons and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, and porch monkeys, and I'm like, what the fuck?
It's so disturbing.
It was very disturbing.
You're just like, oh lordy.
I'm like, I don't know if I mean I'm gonna paint over it, but you can still see the backside where it says the names of the songs, you know. I felt pretty weird about those. I was like, oh god. I'll find the cover and send it to you because you'll be like, what the hell? Like, I haven't touched it.
Like back in like what was it that movie? Oh brother, where out thou or something like that.
Where art thou? Yeah.
Like that era. That's the era that we're talking about.
What the 30s.
Yeah, like pre and during the Great Depression,
Yes.
or the what do you call it? The sand storm time or the Dust Bowl.
Yeah, Dust
The
Bowl, Great
prohibition, eh?
Depression.
The prohibition.
Yeah,
Oh, I
I
love
mean
Prohibition era.
back then. I mean they were even starting with the weather manipulation shit on Jews back then, like the Dust Bowl. Dust Bowl. There's conspiracies even back then. That's the Jews.
The
That's
Dust Bowl.
crazy.
Yeah, that we were manipulating the weather and blah
Oh
blah.
my gosh.
I wish you were.
Yeah,
with
because I'd
dark
have you
magic.
manipulate mine to
Yeah, it was dark
warmer right
magic.
now.
Yeah, exactly. Black magic and it's just come on.
Black magic. Oh,
We
I will forward. I will forward this to you. I found an interview on. You told me I was doing some research on Thomas Massey, and I found this whole interview that took place 2 days ago. Very interesting. It's like on YouTube. It's very interesting because I saw a clip, and I'm like, wait a minute, I want to see the whole thing. So I'll forward it to you.
okay. Yeah, he's
actually
problem.
for
Yeah,
Halloween.
when I watched it, I'm like, oh, wow.
And when I say he's a problem, it's not. I'm saying, oh, he's a problem to Jews or a problem for Israel. No, he's a problem for America.
Yeah, it's an hour-long interview. I don't know the podcaster though. The podcaster, you're gonna like. I got a vibe from the podcaster as well, but I've never heard of this podcaster. But I did not like this podcaster. But I wanted to watch the interview with Massey.
No. So for my synagogue did a class on Jewish mysticism and like ghosts and stuff like that for Halloween theme kind of class. And I guess during the Dark Ages, Jewish Kabbalists would make these Hebrew charm things that they would say with the prayer for good weather or for the king to not pogrom Jews or for this or for that. And so people looked at that and it's like, oh my God, they're casting spells. And that's where that started in the Dark Ages with like the same kind of charms they make in Japan.
Yeah, they say that, that we can cast a spell and make a golem. I'm like, I'm all for that. Send them to Europe.
Europe's already got a bunch of golems, except they took the A off of it and it's just death.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Wake up, smart people.
That
was
kills
Mark
the golem,
Cuban?
like a vote
Wasn't
when you
he
take
Mark
the aleph out.
Mark
It's what?
Cuban? Who was
Mark
Mark
It
Cuban,
Cuban?
he's
it kills the
the
golem
Maverick.
when you take the aleph out. It kills the golem.
Oh, okay. But
He was arrested. That's all.
that's how powerful Jewish people are. Is non-Jewish people believes that their superstitions are actually true.
Wait a second, Joe. Wait, so that was true that Mark got arrested?
Yeah,
It is true
it's what it says right here.
because I
Mark
saw
Cuban.
the video.
Yeah, it says Mark Cuban
The
arrested
camera.
for orchestrating for secret NBA games. So,
No way, that is actually true.
yeah, I know.
Oh,
I'm telling
he's
when you. I've
no
been
way.
exploring a lot of shit, man.
No, but
Hey,
I thought it was AI. I didn't
hey,
know that was true.
everybody! Somebody wants to come up real quick. They need to say something.
Okay.
Oh
We'll
Lord.
see. We'll see. I know. Prepare.
Yeah, prepared. Ooh, prepared. A non-Jew. Ooh.
Oh, well,
I'm
hi.
not Jewish.
Well, I'm not Jewish. What the hell is that?
I'm not Jewish.
What's he?
I might be. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't
There's
think I am.
people here who are not
Wait,
Jewish,
did he
dumbass.
drop?
I
Yeah.
don't know. I didn't drop him.
No, he didn't drop.
Yeah, I
I
didn't.
dropped him.
Oh, no,
Oh, come on, that was starting to get spicy.
I know. I didn't.
Yeah. I love it when they come thinking that like, ooh, it's a panel of Jews. No, it's not.
Bring him
It's
back up.
He left. I don't even. I don't see him in here anymore.
Was it something we said?
I don't know. Is this something?
Aww. Sad.
Oh well. Maybe next time.
Oh, shuckins.
You like my sign by?
Yeah, I was laughing. I saw that earlier. You posted. I was like, okay, that's funny.
Well, it was funny because I was digging around in like the candy bowl for tomorrow to hand out candy. The first thing I pulled out was a sugar day. I'm like, I feel like I could do something with this. Oh,
Oh
You know, I
man.
was going to pack a whole bunch of my freeze-dried candy and give it out.
oh, that's
You
cool,
know, yeah. And then I said, fuck that.
right? I would have been like coming back dressed as different things, like
Do you know how
5
bad
times.
this EBT is killing me right now?
I know.
It's decimated my business already. Like
Damn.
I'm in really bad shape right now because of it.
I'm so sorry.
And it's not me particularly. It's the I feel bad for my core, what do you call clientele is, predominantly they're Indian owned businesses and they own
Yeah.
the little markets. And this is why I've been talking about how a lot of those places are going to get hit. If something shuts down, it won't be like the Walmarts and stuff. They're going to hit all the convenience stores, all the 7-Elevens, all the mom and pop little places. They're going to get this. We saw it during BLM riot. And you see it when they do those corner takeovers, when they go and take a street corner, they usually hit up all the gas stations and stuff. Well, they won't even take any orders from anything right now. For the last month, all their inventory is going down because not only, because if they get hit, most people don't do inventory. And if you get hit by insurance, you have to have a very detailed inventory of what was missing, matching your invoices, so you get paid back. Well, for them, it's a cash business. They don't do that as much. Let's just say that. So they're not taking any orders. Well, that just decimated 75% of my business.
Damn.
And it hasn't even hit yet. On top of the fact that it's Halloween, this is like the worst month for me, anyways, because kids get candy for free. That's why I said, fuck them. I'm not going to help that. That's against my business.
Yeah, that's
But
why
I
Cruise
went
Safety is
today.
driving. Go ahead.
You should see their face. I feel bad because they know. And
And unfortunately, to the reality is some of these people, you know, they're not part of the Second Amendment mentality. Okay. Even though they're one of the hardest hit and constantly victimized of crime,
Yeah.
they just don't exercise that. They're fucked and they're feeling it now. And I'm in supposedly,
Yeah.
a blue state. No, 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 it's bad. And people are preparing, well, not literally preparing for that, but preparing for their losses. And
Yep.
it's circulated around the community, because they're all in the same business. They're freaking out
I
because
bet.
my every month, my the first week of the month, my sales would boost. And I'd always like, okay, I never really put two and two together till I went to one, and they were giving me a referral for another account. And he straight out said, it's like, yeah, if because of the SNAP benefits, people then usually buy at the beginning of the month. And then our sales, then they drop off, whatever. It's a cycle. And then I realized and saw it myself. That's all gone. And that's a majority of my business. Or
Yeah.
it might be gone. That's why I'm like, I say go nuclear. Go take that option. Let's get the business, let's get it rolling again. But,
Yeah.
you know, not by giving 1.5 trillion. I'll
Well,
close my business before I support that.
Yeah.
exactly. I know Crusader's been driving freaking day and night because he's been on furlough for about 3 weeks now, and it's hit him hard. He's like he's getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, driving, and then driving most of the day, doing stuff with his son after school, and then going back out driving till like about midnight, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, damn.
I was really looking at, watching and thinking about if they should exercise that option to take that 60. We're only a year into this administration. If this was the last year, it was a lame duck, blah, okay, I would understand. But this is so, I really do back taking this. I usually I don't, because I've said it before that when the Democrats, like, whatever, when let's say the stuff that's been happening with judges is extremely short-sighted because that could easily flip when you have district federal judges making national judgments, whatever it's called. That's a problem. That can give us to a constitutional crisis because it's a mixture of the three branches of government.
Yeah.
But this really isn't. It's a risk factor. It just exposes how pussified ours, both sides are for the most part, but how pussified the Republicans truly are. They
Right.
have no backbone and no belief in themselves whatsoever. Like I would back something like this because I believe in my representation for my constituents. I know I'm going to be the best I can. So if I expose myself, that's just going to force me to work that much more for my people. But they're taking the polar opposite. Let's be completely inactive and wait this out because they're only waiting out for their own to save their own ass in the midterms. That's it.
Yep.
And we've talked about this. I knew they were going to use this fucking shit and they weren't going to codify his executive orders and all this stuff and then say, well, if you want this to continue, you vote for me. Now, yeah, now you just, and I knew it. They're going to get primaried. And look who's going to primary them. Adolf and his crew. We're so fucked. I mean, ugh, I don't know what to say.
I don't know. It's weird.
I saw this. We talked about it. We
Yeah,
all
we
saw
did.
it a month after, 2 months after the elections. Well, I saw nothing being done by Congress, and then they just disappeared out of Washington. It's
Yeah.
like you took a 2 months hiatus when you should be out there codifying what the people voted you dumbasses for.
Exactly. That's what I don't get. Like I know Congress knows what we voted for. Have the fucking balls and do what it takes to do. You know, we voted you in. We voted this agenda. This is what we wanted. We told you that.
Loud and clear.
Yeah.
There was no gray area. And now all the gray area developed. We know the lunatics on the other side there. We knew they were going to be a bunch of, immature crybabies. We expected that, but I did not expect the amount of inaction in such a majority House and Senate. What a fucking lost opportunity.
I know.
And I don't know if you guys follow a guy named Patriot Dad,
Yeah, Patriot Dad,
and
yeah.
and he has a brother. It's like a twin. Very,
Non-de-plume is
very
his brother.
informative. Huh?
Non-de-plume is his brother's name.
Yeah, very, and because they really go through. They even have a good live for Christians that say,
Yeah,
because
they
they have a
do.
prayer live
Uh-huh.
and everything on Sunday nights, and go over some really good fine topics. But he breaks this down pretty good, and so it really it did. If we let's put it this way, if we don't see action by the Republican majority, they do need to get primary because we got bigger fish to fry. We got shit going to come down so hard next year on indictments and all sorts of different things that have to be done. We can't have a bunch of bullshit, and that's including all over the world.
Yeah, really.
And then we have to work on getting rid of the IRGC, because if we don't do that, we're not going to have any world peace with them in power. Or let's say world stability or quiet. 'Cause I don't think we'll ever have peace unless the aliens come like Jaffa wants and takes the
Right, the
mud hutters
aliens.
with them.
I'm in firm agreement with
Want
the
access.
IRCG.
You know you want the same thing.
I know.
No, I know.
Anyone want to bring Thugger up? Want to
Yeah.
entertain this?
Go ahead.
Okay. Come on, Tuggy.
She's good with the aliens.
Go with the aliens.
What happened to Thugger? I let him up.
Oh, he's up.
Oh, here he
She's
is.
up.
He, she, whatever. I don't know.
Hi, Thugger.
What's the deal?
I don't know. I'm
Echo?
yelling.
Yeah, with what part?
You're the one
What do
who
you
asked.
got to contribute
Is
to
it
our
still echo or
panel
no?
tonight?
No, you're fine.
Sorry? Jack Nicholson profile picture. With it.
Wait, you're cutting up, Thugger. Hello?
All right. Hold on.
Yeah, he's.
NSF by it enters
Oh, there he is.
connectability.
What were you saying?
I think he was trying to talk to you.
Yeah, I know.
Is that,
He was breaking up. No, you have a bad connection.
am I still breaking up or no?
No, now we can hear you.
You're good. Where'd you go?
He was there and he's gone.
Oh, he's on teacup, so maybe he just like scrolled out.
When somebody don't go on lives, usually this how it looks like.
Want to drop him and have him come back up? Maybe that'll be
Yeah,
better.
Thugger.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop you. You can come back. Yeah, I don't. Let me see.
Hello.
Hey, Chris.
How's it going?
Good. Where you going?
I'm doing.
Wow, you sound
I'm
chipper.
alive.
What?
It's been really rainy around here lately, so I'm in a lot of pain.
Oh, fuck.
Not
Sorry.
doing the best of sleeping.
Hi, Thugger.
Hey, Thugger.
Hey,
Now we can
Oh,
hear
my
much
you.
bad.
better.
My
All
bad. Yeah,
right.
I had to change some. My bad. My bad.
Go ahead, Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, go ahead, Jack Nicholson. What you guys say?
I don't know. I've been talking. You just came up. What you got to offer?
Nah, I was confused what the live was about. Honestly, I love joining with the old cats, seeing what the old cats got to say. So,
Well, what subject? Pick one.
shit, it don't matter to me, bro. I'm willing to learn. You know what I'm saying? Get any type of advice.
Okay, where
I see
are you?
like 3 people in here that's got to be over 40, respectfully.
Cover your stump before you hump.
My
Yeah.
bad. My bad. My bad.
So
No, but like,
are
what
you
subject you want to
stateside?
talk about? What's going on with
I don't
SNAP
know. I don't know what
benefits or
y'all old
anything?
cats talking about.
Oh, we were talking
By the
about
prompt.
Congress and Senate.
Okay. Okay.
So are you an American?
I am. I'm not like a patriot or nothing. Nah.
Yeah, I mean, are you an American?
I was born in America, yeah, but if you're asking do I like my country, no, I don't.
Why don't you like your country?
We gonna get into a whole deep conversation.
Oh, why would you
Like,
want to be in a country that you don't like?
Well, I mean, we're really not going to get into a deep conversation, but, you know.
Where is better? Let's ask that question. That's simple. Where is better than America?
Yeah, really.
Ah, man, he left.
Oh, I helped him.
I didn't do it. Oh.
I'm sorry.
I'm an American, but I don't like it here. Well, get the fuck out. You're free to move.
Dumbass.
Do a
Another
Rosie
fucking
O'Donnell. Bye.
dumbass. I don't have a fucking respect for motherfuckers who are like, I live in this country, but I don't like the country. Motherfucker, you don't like the country? Pick up your shit and fucking leave.
Bye.
Or get out
Amen.
there and make it better. How about
Yeah.
that? How about we get a generation that instead of just pointing the finger and crying like bitches, they had come up with solutions that they recognize in their opinion and want to do something better about it. No,
Yeah,
don't just
roll
point the finger and act like a little bitch. Tell me
Fucking.
what we can come to an agreement and let's go make it happen. But they don't
It's
do that.
I
it's a
mean,
pathetic fucking generation.
how spoiled do you have to be in a country where you're free, freedom of everything, and you're going to complain you don't like it when you get everything you fucking want, including saying stupid shit like that?
Exactly. I just want to point out that in some countries, saying what he just said online will get you arrested and executed. So you're a privileged little bitch.
That's
You're still here.
exactly what I'm saying. I'm like, you really don't know how privileged you are to not live in some of these countries like Sudan, Syria, Nigeria. I mean, Iran. It boggles me how these people think, oh, I hate it here. I'm gonna go live somewhere. There's not a whole lot better, especially under an Islamic fucking global intifada. I'm sorry.
The problem with
These
them people.
people have zero knowledge about the big world and what it's like. They just don't like what's going on in where they live at, so they projectile that on their entire country. But they have no idea what the real world is like. They don't know.
No.
They have no knowledge.
Well, do you see the reaction when we said, "Oh, what are we talking about? Oh, Congress and Senate, total shutdown." Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you say you hate this country. I can say honestly, I hate this country too right now. I don't hate the country. I don't hate the theory behind it. But what we are right now, I cannot stand, and that's why I'm here talking about it. That's why I'm here exposing and I'm just as critical on both sides of the aisle. I don't give two
Mm-hmm.
shits about either side if they're going to do shit that's stupid. But
Would you say
these younger
you?
generation won't engage because they know nothing about the structure and how this fucking country functions. They think that oh, it's the guy on top. It's actually far from that. This country is actually established so the guy on top can't do those things. So you have to look at then who is the one in charge. Well, that's Senate and Congress and in Congress. Those are the ones that fuck up the country, and they're the ones who can get and fix the country. So if they're
Yeah.
not doing shit, put the blame where the blame is needed. Because if not, we're not going to get anywhere.
And then he
Nothing's going to
called
change.
us fucking old. What the
Yeah,
hell
Well,
but
is
I hear that from
he
Abby every
started
day.
out with that.
you
The thing
call me
is,
old?
with all them kids anyway, they love to complain. Okay, then you like you Bible was saying, you come up with a solution. Let's discuss it. Come up with a solution. But once they have a plan, you say, okay, well, you better roll your sleeve because we got work to do. Well, they disappear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
Well,
point. If you can't engage, I want to hear what that person had to say. Not to say that I mind that you dropped them, but I'd like to know the mentality of that. I don't
well,
like to
next
say
time,
generation, just that citizen of America. Like, where do you come up with that? Without,
I will leave him up. I will leave a person up like
no, no,
that.
no. I'm just saying generally, hypothetically.
Yeah, I know.
It's like I don't think from
But
whatever
see,
that
I
could
wouldn't
be.
you because I don't have the same patience you do.
Yeah, it's just like I like it's like I'm the bear, they're the bunny. I like playing back and forth till I actually strangle them and kill
Yeah, I'd wipe my
them.
ass if I was the bear with the bunny.
Do you know where that's from? Do you guys even know where that's from?
The joke?
Open season.
No, it's from a movie, Swingers.
Really? Because Boo, the bear in open season, does it with the rabbits. He uses the rabbits to wipe his ass when he's shitting in the
Yeah,
woods.
yeah. No, but the scene is that there's this guy can't get over his ex, and they're at every time they go to a bar, even when he meets a chick, he starts talking about his ex. Which is definitely, you ain't getting dick if you're gonna act like that. But so his friend goes up and explains to him because he just got a number off some girl, and then right away he's all fucked up in the head, and he's like, no, 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 she's the bunny, you're the bear. It's a great scene. You gotta see it. It's funny because
Jesus.
we
Eh,
all have that
you,
friend that won't get over their ex. Go female or male, doesn't matter, and no matter what. Even if they go on a date, you go talk to the date. Like, what did they talk about? Their ex, yeah.
Their ex.
Yeah,
Talk
we all
about
have
talk about a kitty
I will.
shutdown. That's
I
the
we all
best
will.
way
have
to do it.
we all have a
Listen,
person.
I know a guy that I'm not joking you for the past 30 years he's hung up over his ex.
For 30
30
years?
years. He's
Yeah.
been
Wow.
in Israel for almost 30 years. And the motherfucker never had a woman for 30 years because he's hung up over his ex. It's the worst case I've ever seen.
Yeah, man.
Oh
It's
man.
like really bad.
Wow.
Must
Yeah.
have been
Can
doing
we do a
something good.
GoFundMe page to go get him an escort?
People tried that. He had friends who tried to give him an
Yeah, and
escort.
he
They
talks
even
to
put him
the
in a
he talks
room.
to her about his ex.
Dude, he left the room. He got up and left. Once you walked in, he left.
Wow, I want to meet
I'm like,
her.
motherfucker. I'm like, wow, I don't know what the fuck she did to
Something
you, but
special there.
I don't know what the fuck she did to him. But
She
30
had a
years is
very
not.
talented mouth.
I, I guess so. Because motherfucker wouldn't refuse to go to any other woman.
You know what? I was like that one time, and I tell you what, I broke out in hives for years after we broke up. It got so bad, my doctor told my mom, "You better do something with her because she's having heart issues." That shit's real.
Hey, Yaffa, maybe your friend's girlfriend had nuts.
I don't know what the fuck she had. I don't know. I don't have exes, so I don't
Ladyboy.
know how it feels like to have